What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Manchester United Liverpool Aftermath. This is another post-match video where we will talk about the absolute disaster that is happening at Manchester United. It's a full-blown crisis. They are at one of their worst times in recent memory, and I'm absolutely loving every minute of this aftermath. I spent hours today watching the post-match videos of the game yesterday, which was one of Liverpool's most famous days, and I think after winning trophies, this is the next best thing. Thrashing your biggest rivals 5-0 in their own stadium, in their own backyard, after they signed Sancho, Varane and arguably one of the best players in the history of football, Cristiano Ronaldo, to have Ronaldo on the Man United team and to thrash them 5-0. It's absolutely glorious, and loads of pundits predicted Manchester United to win the Premier League title, to challenge for the Premier League title, but I said before the season, and I don't really want to gloat, well, a little bit, but I said that Liverpool will finish above Manchester United in the Premier League, and well, it's not a certainty, but it's a very, very big likelihood, because Man United are nowhere near the teams at the top. They are nowhere near when it comes to the level that is required for a title challenge this season, because Chelsea improved, Man City improved, and I think even Liverpool improved. Not from last season, because that wasn't hard to do, improving from last season, but they are even a better team right now than they were 2 or 3 years ago when they won the Premier League with 99 points or won the Champions League. And I think this is the next best thing after winning the title, to thrash Man United 5-0. And Jamie Carragher hit it spot on, saying that Liverpool did not need to be anywhere near their best to thrash Manchester United, which should really worry the Man United fans. And there are some very sensible Man United fans who said that this was coming since the start of the season. The only team probably that Man United properly dismantled was Leeds United, but they were wide open. They play very open attacking football, so it wasn't really hard to pick them off. But against every other team, Man United didn't really hit top gear, as I would say, and I think it's the manager's fault. It's a mediocre manager with a great squad of players, and ask yourself, if you are a Man United fan, where would Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel finish with this exact same Manchester United squad? And would they challenge for the title? Probably not win the title, because Man United's defense, I still don't think they are good enough. But they could certainly challenge for the Premier League title, which I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will do, if he even has the chance to outsee the season. By the way, keep Ole at the wheel, please, Man United board. Don't sack him and don't bring in Antonio Conte or Zinedine Zidane, because that would certainly improve Manchester United by a long distance. And I absolutely loved Gary Neville and the mental gymnastics that he had to do post-match to not say Man United should sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is his mate. They were playing together at Manchester United, and of course you don't want pundits to say a manager should be sacked. Gary Neville wasn't objective, and he was biased in his analysis, because when Jose Mourinho or Louis van Gaal was at the Man United and they were playing dreadful football, boring football, and they still won trophies, by the way. Under Van Gaal they won the FA Cup, under Mourinho they won the Europa League, and I think not other few cups, maybe the FA Cup as well. But they play boring football. Now they play less boring football, I say, sometimes very exciting attacking football, but they haven't won a trophy, and at Man United that's unacceptable. If you don't win a trophy for 3 or 4 years, I'm sorry, but you should be sacked, whoever you are, because I think that is not good enough at this club, the stature of Man United. I would say the same about Liverpool or Chelsea, but of course we know that that Man United now, because they tried the higher world-class manager and they failed, they tried that route and they failed. They're giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time, which is not a bad thing, but I think Solskjaer has taken Man United as far as he can, and if they want to go up a level and challenge for the title, which should be the absolute bare minimum at Manchester United, especially after signing Ronaldo, Sancho and Varane. I mean, this is a great squad of players. Maybe defensively they are not world class. Maybe defensive midfield is a weakness for Man United, but attacking wise, they have as good an attacking team as anybody in the Premier League, in my honest opinion. But Solskjaer is a mediocre manager and he will never challenge for the title with Manchester United. And I think Gary Neville should have said that they need to improve the manager, even if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is his mate. But because they are friends, he couldn't be objective in his analysis, in my opinion. And it's really weird that Mark Ogden wrote a world-class article in the ESPN. He's a senior writer there, and he wrote a world-class article saying that the Man United mediocrity is down to the owners, Glazers, as apathy and low standards take hold. And Gary Neville said on Twitter, nail hit on the head, quoting the article. But the article says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be sacked by Man United and they should bring in a better manager, which Gary Neville vehemently argued against on Sky Sports yesterday after the match. So I find that hypocrisy absolutely hilarious and I love it. And I will quote some of the article as well. But Jamie Carragher said, I'm not trying to be clever here, but I don't think Liverpool were at their absolute best in terms of actual possession. Certainly throughout that first half they gave Man United opportunities by losing the ball, but whenever they made passes and got in and around United's back four, that's just a joke of a back four, the way it is playing. It was just a mess. You can't quite believe what you have seen. I was saying on commentary, I was saying almost drink this in to the supporters watching it at home. It will never get better than that. And certainly it will probably never, Liverpool will probably never have a better result at Old Trafford than that. We certainly didn't have, in 100 years, Liverpool haven't beat Manchester United by 5 goals or more at Old Trafford, and that's not a coincidence. It's one of the hardest games in Liverpool's season. So to win 5-0 is just glorious. And Jamie Carragher went on to say the one slight disappointment was that there was half an hour to go against Man United with 10 men that they had, so you'll never get that opportunity again. But I'm not too bothered about Liverpool not scoring the 6th or the 7th goal, because I just didn't want Man United to hurt even more Liverpool players. It was threatening to boil over in the game. And I really didn't want Liverpool to get more injuries. We have enough problems now that with James Milner pulling his hamstring and he could be out for weeks, if not a month. Naby Keita, we are still waiting for scans on his ankle. Paul Pogba certainly didn't break his ankle, but he could have done. And I think it was an absolute justified stonewall red card decision, which VAR got it right and the referee sent Pogba off, but Naby Keita could be out for a long time if the scans show that there is a ligament tear. Let's hope it's not. Jurgen Klopp said that Naby Keita looks fine in the dressing room after, which is encouraging. So it maybe is not as bad as I first feared, and he will be only out for weeks and not months, but we still need to wait for the swelling to go down, and then Naby Keita will go for scans, and it's so unfair on Keita, who had a brilliant season. And Jamie Carragher said Man United and Liverpool are the biggest rivals in world football, 2 huge clubs in the northwest of England, and I have a huge respect for what both clubs have achieved, but you are not going to get that opportunity too often to be 5-0 up after 50 minutes and with 10 men, against 10 men, sorry, for Liverpool. This is a special Liverpool team with a special manager. I think this is the best ever Liverpool team. We just are up against Chelsea and Man City, 2 absolutely super rich clubs, and that's the only reason why this Liverpool team won't win 4 or 5 Premier League titles. They might only win 2 or 3. They might only win 1 or 2 Champions Leagues, because we have clubs like Paris Saint-Germain and Man City and Chelsea with almost bottomless amounts of money. But in any other era, this Liverpool team would win 5, 6 Premier League titles or league titles at least, in my opinion. And alongside Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, probably the 3 other best teams in Europe play in the Premier League right now. Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool. Man United are nowhere near that. The fish smells from the head, as they have the saying, I think, in Latin. Manchester United's lack of ambition comes from the owners. They are just happy that Man United are making money, and every season they are generating huge amount of revenue, even without winning trophies most of the time. And that's brilliant for a business, but it's not so brilliant when you are one of the biggest clubs in the world. And football clubs shouldn't just be treated like a business, but because Americans don't really get English football and the culture of English football and how much it means to the fans to have a team who fights for trophies. And you don't have to win trophies every season, but you have to fight for trophies every season when you are Manchester United. And they certainly, even though they finished second last season and they finished second under Jose Mourinho, they were nowhere near the first place team in both seasons. Mark Ogden puts it brilliantly that a culture of mediocrity has set in at Man United, that it has nothing to do with Solskjaer. In many ways, Solskjaer is a victim of the erosion of standards and expectancy caused by the owners, the Glazer family, and the executives. And I mean, the owners of Man United weren't even in the executive VIP boxes during their biggest game of the season. The Man United Liverpool is the biggest game of Manchester United season, and the owners, Glazers, were nowhere near the game. And if the owners can't even find the time to watch Man United's biggest game of the season, it's pretty clear that they don't care. Ferguson went after 8 years ago, and since then Man United haven't won a league title, and the biggest problem is they weren't even close to winning a league title in that time. And since Solskjaer took charge, they have become a nearly team, losing 4 semi-finals and a Europa League final. But of course the reason why they were even in the Europa League final is because they failed in the Champions League and only got third in the group. And yes, Man United will argue that Solskjaer has made gradual progress with the club as a manager, which is good. I'm not saying Solskjaer is a bad manager, he's a good manager, but he's not great, he's not world class. And that's what it takes if you want to win a title in the Premier League, because the Premier League has 3 of the best managers in world football: Solskjaer, Tuchel, Klopp and Guardiola, and Solskjaer is never will be as good. Jamie Carragher argued that point pretty well on Sky Sports yesterday as well. And Man United no longer operate to the same high standards that defined the club under Ferguson. Chelsea and Man City have been the most successful English clubs of the past decade, and of course that is down mainly to their rich owners, but it's also because both clubs are pretty ruthless, and they have a very big appetite for trophies that comes from the top and the owners, who are much more involved. I mean, Chelsea sack managers like crazy. Even if you win a title and then you finish third the next season, you could get sacked. And if the manager is failing, he's replaced. Even club legend Frank Lampard was sacked by Abramovich, and they won the Champions League in that same season. So it's justified, the Chelsea model, if you only look at club trophies. I'm actually happy that Liverpool are not operating like that, because Jurgen Klopp would have been sacked after losing the Europa League final or losing the League Cup final against Man City. Jurgen Klopp, of course, needed a lot of years for Liverpool to be successful, but look at them now. Look at them now. And at Man City, of course, you know how much money they spent, and they recruited the best manager in world football at the time, Pep Guardiola. But under the Glazers, Man United are neither ruthless nor fixated upon appointing the best, and that is coming from the top, and also that applies to the manager and to the coaching staff as well. I heard that Solskjaer's team of coaches is a pretty young one, not very experienced. Only Mike Phelan, who has been the assistant to Ferguson for 10 years, he's the most experienced coach at Man United. All the others are pretty much learning on the job. And at Manchester United, to do that is pretty criminal, if you ask me. And also Solskjaer, yes, he was a Manchester United legend, a great player. But look at his CV as a manager. He was managing Molde and Cardiff. If he wasn't called Ole Solskjaer and he was just another bloke who didn't have big ties to Man United, he would never get the job. But that's not the problem that he got the job, because he improved Man United. They are playing better football than under Mourinho or Van Gaal. Right now, I mean, not even right now, a year ago he should have been sacked, and a better manager should have been appointed. But right now, if Man United don't sack Solskjaer, it will be just the same old, and they have a glorious opportunity to appoint Zidane or Conte and to actually do something this season, because right now, if Solskjaer stays on, Man United are in real danger to not even finish in the top 4, and that would be absolutely hilarious if they if they finished in the Europa League places, or they would go down to the European Conference League, how embarrassing that would be. Tottenham are in that, and ask any Tottenham fan, are they really want to be in that competition? Not really, but of course it's better than nothing. So Solskjaer is not up to the job of taking Man United above and beyond Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool, but if he can finish 4th and enjoy a decent cup run, it will keep him in a job. Nobody can blame Solskjaer for that. Man United's diminished status and expectancy is down to the owners, and Mark Ogden is spot on with that. And I think that unless this culture changes and unless the owners' ambition changes at Man United, they will not really go back to their glory days of the 90s and the 2000s, where they won basically 2 titles every 3 years, or 2 titles every 4 years, 1 title every 2 years, something like that. And Stan Collymore also said that Chelsea won't continue their great goal-scoring run without Lukaku and Timo Werner being back fit and also being in top form. Lukaku hasn't hit the heights that many expected during the Premier League season so far, and now he's out injured. Werner is out injured. And he said, if you've got Mane, Salah, Firmino and Jota fit against 10 outfield players, Chelsea players scoring goals, and perhaps losing their top man Lukaku and Werner and Havertz maybe missing for a game or two, give me proven strikers with proven track records, season in, season out, rather than what is an anomaly at the start of the season. Chelsea's 10 outfield players will not continue that goal-scoring run for 38 games. Why? Because it's never happened in English football or Italian football or Spanish football history ever. That's why we have strikers, that's why they cost £100 million, the world-class strikers, indeed. And I kind of agree with that point, but Chelsea have a lot of very, very talented midfielders, so I think they probably are the team who misses their striker the least among the top teams, apart from Man City, but they don't even play with a real striker. They play with midfielders as a false 9 in that area. So yeah, let me know what you think about all the things that we talked about in this video. I would love to hear your opinion, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Bye.